Okay, let's make a start. As I say, thank you for joining us today. My name is Craig Barrass. I look after the UK and Ireland territory for Spectralink, and also have a particular bias and focus on retail. And my history is about 3.5 years with Spectralink, and also in the wireless industry, probably about 10 or 12 years experience of wireless. There's a number of topics for today's session, which I want to talk through and hope you find useful. So let's sort of move on to the content. As I say, any questions, if you can log those in the chat box, that would be excellent. So what we want to cover today, and hopefully bring some value and information to you, is really about who we are, where we've come from, the market around retail today, which is very dynamic, and really the challenges, and importantly, where we fit, how we can help, where we believe we can add some value, and then we're going to talk about some of our solutions and some of those benefits that we can bring to you as a customer. Then any questions, we'll open up the calls for questions and discuss how we can help you, and then really next steps. So moving on to who we are, and you may know us by a couple of names in the past, but we are positioning ourselves as Spectralink, and there's a history behind that which we'll come on to. But really, we are the WorkSmart company, and this is really a title of what we believe is the value proposition and how that brings value and solutions and benefits to the market. And really, it's about not just voice and beyond voice. So we believe the in-building wireless solution in the enterprise space has a number of interesting challenges and opportunities where we solve that problem for workforces about not just voice communication, but also messaging, alerts, and other information flows that take that to the mobile worker in a way that's now possible when maybe it wasn't before. So that integration, along with what underpins all of our solutions, which is voice quality and durability, is really where, as a WorkSmart company, we add value and improve efficiencies. And we're going to talk through how we do that in different modes today. So history-wise, there's two sort of parts of the company which I'll talk about, but let's talk about Spectralink. Really from the Wi-Fi area of the business, the North American presence really started around 1990 with a strong history of delivering quality wireless voice communications right up to the present day. Also, we have another strain of the business which you may know as Kirk Telecom, which has a very proud and long history back into the previous century of sort of around 1890 in Denmark, delivering our DECT technology and developing our DECT technology. So we've got a long history, and we've focused in some core markets, as you can see here, really around healthcare, retail and hospitality, which we're going to talk and focus on today, and obviously manufacturing. And it's all to do with that ruggedized handset, voice quality, and roaming capabilities. So that's really about the history of who we are and where we've come from. And then we're going to look at really where we're based and who we work with. So here are some target reference customers that we've done work for and are doing work for in both North America and in Europe, and examples of who we deal with, and deployed over 3 million handsets globally, and we've delivered both the DECT from Kirk Telecom, as was, and from Spectralink, the Wi-Fi handsets, into many retailers and sub-verticals in sort of logistics and hospitality. And that's a growing area for us, and it's a good market for our type of value-added solutions. So we've talked about where we've come from and who we deal with. If we look at the retail market today and the challenges it faces, which are many, and certainly from a UK perspective, we've seen a very challenging environment for some of the retailers. And what's clear really is this tackling this technology and communications and the omni-channel phenomenon of the customer demands are changing, they're increasing, their timelines are shortening, their availability of stock and parts, and also being able to go into a store, test, try on, evaluate and buy potentially there and then or online or not, is a very challenging environment for anybody to keep pace with. And we've seen a number of large retailers in EMEA and in the UK struggle with this demanding and changing landscape. And hopefully today I'll show you how we can help address some of those challenges and bring some more benefit and reassurance to several aspects of dealing with customers. So this digital shopper now interacting with retailers on many fronts, researching products on the internet, looking for a number of different fulfillment methods and click and connect, in-store pickup, delivery. There's a number of choices and a number of ways of trying to address this, and it's putting more and more pressure on inventory, on staff, on response times, and on customer service. So it's a challenging environment, and we feel that the more information and communication we can bring to the shop floor and the store staff that services customers better, the more chances there are of protecting the revenue and increasing the revenue from a customer service point of view. So many people have moved away from high street stores. Some are coming back, and it depends on the profile of the business and how the contact point with that customer is initiated, and that's quite challenging and quite interesting. So meeting the demands of this digital shopping world, bridging the online experience and streamlining operations, really all boils down to good practice around supporting that customer and their needs. So if we look at sort of some of the Forrester reports and stats, it's still really, even in these online days of shopping, 85% will need some sort of contact, visit, go in store, test, try on the device, the garment, the whatever. So 85% still need some sort of shopping experience. So more and more stores are becoming a showroom for shoppers to see and touch the actual products. Even take traditional retailers like Amazon. They're really now investing in stores and high street stores. So there's this adoption of this omni-channel approach where new programs and models really are being delivered to drive efficiencies and serve the customer needs, which are evolving and increasing every day. So it is very challenging, and creating a consistent shopping experience both online and in store. So there is a transparency across both sides. It's quite a challenging need, quite a big ask for many of the traditional retailers, and stepping up to that means things like streamlining communications and operations, and bringing data, bringing information, access really to the front of store, and making staff aware of customers' needs and also of availability of product and location of product. These are all very demanding things. So, where do we feel we can help? Well, there's probably 5 or 6 areas we think we can help with in different ways and different plays as we would describe them. And it's really about customer experience, improving communication, safety, both from a customer and staff point of view, that all-important inventory management and keeping that as lean but as appropriate as possible. Security as well is very, very important. And many vendors and retailers suffer from shrinkage around really about lost stock, theft, and location of stock at the right time. And then we've got other things like interoperability that we're going to talk about briefly. So I think these are the areas where we can bring some expertise, some understanding to the requirements of the retailer. So how we feel we can help is really key to enabling some of these benefits. So the customer experience, building brand loyalty, certainly important when there are so many choices for shoppers and clients these days. And it's really about the customer experience, the customer service. And we think that this experience has to be all about service, about information, about access to information. So, with the right information, you can provide a consultative selling environment for your staff, along with your customers, and make sure that the shop floor assistants and associates have time to sell on the shop floor and be aware of offers and inventory and stock checks quickly and effectively with the back office. So that relationship between front and back is very important. We have a number of solutions where we work with the leading market applications. We have an open interface for development for applications which we'll talk more about, but really around the ability to check pricing, check stock, information and offers, depending on whether that's delivered through a DEX or a Wi-Fi handset. This can bring opportunity for things like cross-selling and increase, obviously, the dollar while you have the footfall in store, increasing the spend. So this will help enormously over a traditional just a voice device, and those alerts and those opportunities are quite large. So things like where items are, which store have stock, the latest delivery date are examples of information that could retain that customer and get him to commit rather than just exiting the door. So that customer experience is very important, and that's one key area we can deliver. And really that's about increasing, the effectiveness of information for the assistant on the shop floor and delivering customer satisfaction. Improved communication about availability. So if you are restricted on headcount and number of staff in store, making the most of being able to contact that staff at any time, any place within the store, and get a real response is also very, very important. But also the ability to make decisions, communicate effectively is very, very important. So improved communications between staff and also the customers is very important, with things like some of the technology around the Wi-Fi and the pivot device, which I'll talk more about. This brings in alerts and text messaging and a time, an ability to do things like barcode scanning for stock checks and stock management and price inquiries, but also things like hand-free commands, push to talk, and a group call if there's a sudden requirement or a sudden emergency. And this brings quality voice communications, and it gives everybody higher productivity because everybody's aware of whatever's going on, and also you'll be able to contact anybody and make sure that customer is getting serviced correctly. So there's many benefits to this improved communication, and clear and efficient communication is important around the workflow of staff, assigning workflow objectives and rotation of staff. All supported really by our voice quality optimization process, which is really important on the Wi-Fi side around the ability to roam and have full voice quality from access point to access point within the store. If we look at also, I mentioned earlier about our capability to run an open API and work with applications. This interoperability is very, very important to understand, because this means that our platform of technology around Wi-Fi has devices that can then link into other third-party applications, middleware, software, stock management, ERP, premises management, monitoring, if you like, as well, of things like warehouse doors or exits, or if you were so inclined, if you were wanting to monitor the temperature of the freezers for the frozen food aisle. These could be built into some alerts and thresholds that would alert managers to certain issues. So there's lots of interoperability that gives capability to have better utilization of staff, still being out on the shop floor, still doing their role, but still being able to have control and monitoring of certain situations. And that's a very flexible capability, and you can pick and choose the inputs and outputs of that using some of these third-party applications. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but as we get a more challenging environment with customers wanting to utilize all this information around pricing online, inventory management is very, very key to obviously optimizing the return and the profit, but also keeping costs low and making sure service and stock turns are high. So any applications, any information around being able to measure stock levels, analytics around stock levels and stock turns, and feeding that into and out of the shop floor and the management level is important. So through our DEX and our pivot device and Wi-Fi, we've got various third-party applications that can be integrated, and this would be very, very useful for your average shop floor manager. And obviously from a store management point of view, things like looking at while you're on the move, being able to order more stock for delivery for the next day or that afternoon could be very useful. So inventory management we recognize, and providing that real-time data to a handset at any time of the day is very, very important. So we see that as a strong benefit The main benefit, I would say, from the inventory management is really looking around, that tracking of inventory and movement, and also to the handheld device, being able to see what's moving, what's not, and making decisions on the move instantly. Let's move on. Shrinkage. This is a sort of a tie-in with the benefits being sort of the rate of theft and really about in-store security and safety. And it really comes down to being able to have instant contact, communications, and discrete alerts for staff and security around potential theft, potential mismanagement in the back office with things like secure texting and the push-to-talk, but also alerts, monitoring, and to some degree the ability to put CCTV images on the screen of a device if so desired to monitor certain stock. So we see the devices that we provide bringing more and more information to the key people at the right time to make decisions, but also because of that, the knowledge spread within the organisation of the ability to do that, therefore restricting the opportunity for some of the fraud and theft that has been taking place potentially. Another interesting area is something that 2 or 3 retailers and I have talked about, and it's as simple as converging devices. There's a cost benefit, there's a staff welfare benefit, and there's an efficiency benefit, which is good. But what we are trying to do, and it's very difficult in this challenging environment, is bring a device that supports your normal communications of voice and works with the PBX, delivering that unified communication benefit, but ties into other applications such as barcode scanning, such as alerts and messaging, such as even being down to location detection. So this single device becomes data capture, becomes voice, becomes messaging, internet access, possibly workflow, and certainly I've seen in hospitality where the benefits of the device have been greatly amplified due to the integration of 3 or 4 applications that drive efficiencies, and the main benefit is having one device that can do all, and therefore being rugged and only usable within the enterprise environment is a major benefit to the customer, but also the staff. The staff having just one device rather than 3, having the ability to message and alerts with an audit trail if required, fully encrypted, will give a great deal of benefit to the enterprise company and retailer. But one device on a belt clip that, when dropped, will not break is also very, very important. So single device management is also a major benefit. And then there are many third parties applications that tie into that. And that rolls into really the next slide, which is really about safety, and safety for customers and safety for staff, and really around that ability to send an alert or the duress panic button if a member of staff is being abused or under threat, or for some reason has had a problem and maybe is running away or maybe has fallen. So things like man down, push to talk, and duress are all services we can deliver, really using sort of our DECT and Wi-Fi solutions. And this, again, from a safety of staff and also from a healthcare point of view, helps greatly with protecting your staff, but also if customers have experienced a problem, the ability to flag that up immediately and get support and help is also very important. So those are a number of the solutions. It does drive better safety, but better staff morale, and it's a quieter environment if you've not got loads of alarms overhead going off, and increases staff productivity and self-protection. So some good benefits there. So we've talked through some of the aspects and plays that we would describe them. Let's move on and talk about really the hard benefits and how we deliver and really the strengths. So throughout those slides, you've probably seen the differentiators around how we position it with yourselves as retailers, and we look at quality communications, secure, high quality voice, and the sort of roaming. Then we look at our AIMS partners who deliver various applications into certain verticals which there drive some value, and then how we integrate and interoperate with other platforms, other devices to give real quality enterprise solutions. So let's just summarize around sort of the technology. Here you can see our Pivot device, which is our Android-based Wi-Fi handset, moving into the 8400, which is our very robust Wi-Fi handset for typically warehouses, and then really our ruggedized high-end decked handsets, again ruggedized and suitable for non-carpeted environments. All really talking about voice quality optimization, secure messaging. There's some integration around mobile point of sale, on-floor product scanning. We have a barcode scanner in the Wi-Fi handsets, and inventory lookup. So they're the features, but really when you think about the convergence of these handsets and what they deliver and the applications, we're talking about interaction between employees, which are improved, conversations, access to people, messaging, a quieter environment, but real-time access, where really the focus is on servicing the customer and delivering the best information to the right person at the right time. And that all brings improved customer service. Some examples of the partners we work with, and you may recognize some of the logos here. It's really about, we were talking then about WorkSmart, and it's enabling customers and their workflow around task management, around integration, around stock, and unifying the communications and making the most of the resources. So here are some of our partners, all have various applications that all work with the handsets and deliver alerts, messaging, paging, push-to-talk, monitoring of third-party environments for things like fire panel integration in hospitality, and obviously alerts and critical messaging for security and, say, blue light as well. We also have, at the management level, various relationships around mobile device management, controlling that environment about access and security, and again, improved productivity and services. These are the market leaders, and we work closely with them, and this delivers a seamless integration. Integration into the application and the mobile management, you also need to think about how we dovetail into the market leaders for delivering the voice and the UC. And the UC market is ever changing at the moment. And here we have a number of the market leaders, names you'll all recognise, and we have a relationship with all of those where we can deliver their UC capabilities to our devices. And these really are the enterprise market leaders. More important to mention, we do this potentially on-premise, off-premise, or even in the cloud. And if you want further information on that, please come back to me and let me know. But this all drives down that cost of ownership, a better return on the investment, and certainly from a hosted point of view, faster implementation. So I guess what you're all asking is, what does that mean for me? And we believe that it improves efficiencies for you. It improves and enhances the customer experience. It really does minimize cost and sort of makes the most of that investment and adds capability that maybe makes all the difference. And that's really, really important about investment and efficiency, along with delivering that customer experience and improving functionality on the shop floor and keeping ahead of that curve. One or two little brief examples of what we've delivered with certain customers. Just a taster to see we have customers who have experienced Spectralink delivering value. So here we have Lockdown, and the solution really was about IP depth, delivering in-store for those, really working with their Microsoft Link platform. And the customer has sort of been very happy with the mobility into the warehouse, no loss of connectivity, and has significantly reduced their costs, as an example. Another example is Giant, and this is more to do with our 8,000 in 150 stores. And again, freed managers to help shoppers gain cost efficiencies. Again, just mentioned before, the overhead paging, now that can be done more discreetly, and a better shopping environment and experience for the customer. And here we have Tæppeland, which is one of our Danish customers, and this ties into the very early part I talked about our history with Kirk, based out of Denmark, and sort of a lot of the development of our DECT capability. 38 retail outlets, implemented the IP DECT solution, and certainly leveraging on those long history there. Again, the results are improved customer service, streamlined implementation, consistent experience across all locations. So they're very happy with us. So, any questions? I can't see any in the chat box at the moment, but hopefully that's giving you a flavour of where we fit, what we can deliver, both on the Wi-Fi side and on the DECT. Yeah, I can see one question, really around our Wi-Fi voice. We are seeing a big trend in retail where Wi-Fi is a growing requirement, if you like, and delivers many applications and features across Wi-Fi, both for the customers in store and the store themselves. And we are very careful to deliver quality voice roaming from access point to access point. We test with the market leading access points through our View program, and that delivers voice quality optimization and if it is a tested and approved access point and PBX, we are very confident we can deliver very, very reliable, high quality voice roaming. But more than that, it then opens up the opportunity for certainly the pivot device to use third-party applications for things like stock management and data collection, which we are seeing a big interest in at the moment. I have another question. Can staff check stock in other stores? Yes, that would depend on the integration with stock management, but we have customers already using the 8400 and the pivot device for locating stock in other stores, and also sending customers onto that store, or if not, ordering it and having it delivered to their home address. So again, retaining that customer interest and making the most of that inquiry. So thank you for that. Another question I have coming in. Can staff respond in store to online inquiries? Absolutely, yes. Again, this real-time access to inquiries, to stock, to potential inquiries online. The staff in store can act as an agent there and then and take inquiries and respond and dispatch, because they have a data interactive device that can do that through the pivot handset, and therefore can action that immediately. But that's a very good example of some of the differences between a DEC solution and a Wi-Fi solution. Any other questions? Yes, that's a really good point. I've got another question coming about BYOD. There are examples of customers we've worked with where staff have utilized smartphones, and unfortunately it's left the impression with the customers that the staff were making personal calls and using personal devices for personal reasons and not servicing customers. And some feedback we've had from some of our clients is once they've deployed Spectralink DECT or Wi-Fi handsets, they know that they are an enterprise device, and certainly on the Wi-Fi they can be locked down to suit the applications that are purely for the enterprise retailer, and therefore if you wanted to block Facebook or Twitter, you can. But that also creates the impression that the staff are there for the customer and available, and if it is a call that they're on, they will see that it is a business call and not a personal call, and I think that's a very positive thing for us. So thank you for that. Okay, unless there's more questions, thank you for attending. Thank you for the questions. I hope you found that interesting. A recording of this will be posted for follow-up if you want to do that. Thank you for your time.